This question is for Senator Barbara Pocock. The PwC tax scandal just keeps getting worse and worse, and the leaks and bombshells keep coming. Do you think there is the potential for a royal commission to occur in this area?
Well, Grace, you're right. The scandal has just kept unfolding, a terrible gift that keeps on giving. A company that's broken very serious ethical rules and has profited from using confidential government information to assist the largest multinationals on the planet to avoid Australian tax. So it doesn't get much worse than that. And we have a very vigorous process underway in the Senate where we're sort of peeling back the layers and taking the lid off the box, if you like. But the problem I think we are seeing is not just something that is confined to PwC. The big four consulting companies as a group have a business model which means they aggressively pursue contracts. That's their business model, and everything else, including ethics, fall victim, we have learned, to that in many places. And a lot of the business they've created is in the public sector, scooping out public sector dollars which they have profited from. So there are some really big issues here, Grace, you're absolutely right. We've got to look at value for money. When we use consultants in the public sector. We've got to eliminate conflicts of interest, and we've got to hold big companies, these are billion-dollar companies, to account. And I think the Senate is doing a very good job at present. It's got plenty of work ahead of it. We're questioning all of the big consulting companies, and there are some important, obvious things we need to do, which I think we can look to hearing in our Senate report. Things like changing their structure so they're not partnerships, they're corporations, and they have to be transparent. Ensuring that they are regulated more than they are right now. So I think there's some things that the Senate will work out need to be done, and I think the question of the Royal Commission lies before us. If we still need more detail, quite possibly we will to go deeper. Whatever we do, I don't want us to be back here in 3 years with another set of scandals in front of us trying to clean up. We need to do a really good solution now.
Let me just clarify, there is a national integrity body now.
Yes.
Can it do the work, or do you think a Royal Commission is necessary?
I think the National Anti-Corruption Commission can look at certain kinds of acts, and certainly there are quite possibly criminal activities that have been undertaken that do need attention. But we also need to look at the business model, at the agglomeration of conflicts of interest that are built into the structure of these firms, at the working conditions that affect the health and psychological safety of people who work there, and the fact that billions of dollars of public money, their growth in the last 10 years has been your money, taxpayers' money, to scoop out tasks that should be done by a robust, well-financed, well-managed public sector, and that's our challenge.
Dean Smith, what more do you think should be done? How seriously do you think this should be taken? Is a Royal Commission warranted?
Well, I think we're way too early to be talking about a Royal Commission.
Why?
Well, because I think the Senate process that Barbara and others have been involved in is living up to expectations, is peeling back the layers. I think it's been very, very effective. I was only saying to Barbara earlier this evening that I think it's a powerful demonstration of how the Senate does work and does good work. And it's been done in a very, very collegiate way. And once the evidence through that process is known, is revealed, then that is the right time to consider a Royal Commission.
OK. Luke?
I mean, I think it's... PwC is obviously a for-profit company. A lot of all the consulting companies the government uses are for-profit,
not
right?
charities.
Yeah.
They're not doing it for the love of it.
No.
I think it's like really unsurprising that this happened. Like, I think it's useful to think of corporations like robots. Like corporations have a goal, and that's to make money. And PwC saw an opportunity to use the information they had from the government to make money. And it's bad to say, I think, like, PwC is a bad one. All companies are trying to make money. They're trying to maximise their profit. So if the government doesn't put things in place to minimise the consequences of that, then this happens. This doesn't happen just with consulting. It happens with any company that you hire with a profit motive to do a public service. Their goal is to make money. Their goal is not to do the best thing by the Australian people. So it's no surprise this happened. It's going to keep happening unless we really, really regulate against it.
But the trouble is, Luke, can I just add, they're not corporations, they're partnerships. They are not required to give the Australian community transparency about who they pay and how they pay themselves. They're not required to give us audited statements. They don't pay corporate tax. They don't pay payroll tax on their partnership payments. They're very different.
If I can bring in the Minister, Katy Gallagher, can you fix it? And can you do it without a Royal Commission, or do you need one?
Well, there's a stack of work underway. Obviously, there's the work that Barbara and Deb O'Neill are doing through the Senate process, which is thorough. And, you know, the Senate is a very powerful chamber. It's the chamber of scrutiny. It's appropriate that it uses all its powers available to look at this. The government can do other measures, which we're already doing, which we've talked about before, PK, about tightening up some of the rules about procurement. But the failure in this instance, in PwC, that the one that we're all talking about, wasn't a failure of procurement or contracting. In fact, there was no contract in place. It was a confidentiality agreement. And government often...
Which they broke.
They broke, exactly. But
They
government
monetised.
has to consult when it's developing policy. You can't develop policy in a room by yourself. You have to consult. They were part of this. They broke that. We've learnt a lot more. So there's definitely work that we have to do.
Do you think there's a case for a Royal Commission?
Well, I mean, I think everyone's waiting to see what the Senate committee comes up with, as it should. It's, you know, respect
But just
to
to
that
be clear about the
process.
government's position, you're open to a Royal Commission?
We're not, we certainly haven't supported a Royal Commission. We are waiting for the work that the Senate committee is doing, and we are doing the work we need to do now. We've done a stack of work around procurement, tightening it up, requiring PwC to give us a whole range of undertakings, and we're deadly serious about it. The other side of it, and I know I've got to give the call soon, so I'll be very quick, is the fact that the public service and the consultancy sector is completely out of balance. And that's the other big piece, that under the former government, not speaking about you directly, Dean, but the former government outsourced a whole range of functions, you know, eroded the public service. And so we have this terrible imbalance at the moment where we pay a lot more to get the same work done because the public service has been eroded, and we're fixing that as well.
I'm on a move.